blowing it's on. Hey, good evening. This is the Planning Commission regular meeting of February 8th, 2023. We'll call the meeting to order tonight at 6 o'clock. And can I get a roll call attendance, please?
Commissioner Steve Cooley.
Present.
Commissioner Robert Tinker.
Present.
Commissioner Patrick Stevens stated he would be absent this evening. Vice Chair Anthony Colindres.
Here.
Chairman Nathan Smith.
Here. All right, we'll move to the public comment period. The meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the city clerk's office or by calling in and using the phone number provided on the front of the agenda. Do we have any public comments tonight?
I have no written comments. Rudy, do we have any callers on the line? Rudy, are you there?
I have no callers on the line.
Thank you.
All right, I just saw this, I just read all the highlights here and skipped over the rest of the stuff in the first part. So let's go back and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and we'll do the other items. Mr. Cooley, do you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so with that, do we have any adjustments to the agenda tonight?
No adjustments tonight, thank you.
And do we have any conflicts of interest to disclose? I don't anymore. Okay, so with that, then we'll move on to our action items of public hearings. Item C1, introduction and swearing in of our new planning commissioners. So we'll ask each commissioner to introduce themselves.
Yes, please.
We'll start to my right.
Hi, my name is Steve Cooley.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you much. I'm Bob Tinker.
I'm Anthony Colindres.
All right, and Nathan Smith, thank you.
All right.
Anything else we need to do for that one?
So
Is there swearing in we need to do?
Yes, we do need to do a swearing in. So if I could have Mr. Cooley, yourself, and Mr. Tinker, it might be best down here, and we can do the swearing in, and then we can proceed. All right.
Reservation or purpose of evasion.
And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And
And
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon
upon
which I
am about to enter.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. All right, you can take your seats and we can continue.
All right. So with that, we'll move on to a reorganization of the Planning Commission. You have a quick staff report?
I do, if you would like. Just a minute to get that up. Commissioners, annually, the Planning Commission has the opportunity for reorganization to appoint a chair and a vice chair to the commission for the year of 2023. There is currently no policy in place for such process. However, in 2021, City Council did adopt a policy for their rotation, and Planning Commission followed suit. So I provided that process here tonight, should you choose to go that route, and in which it goes by tenure and rotation sequence. So you'll see in your agenda packets as an attachment the current sequence. Mr. Smith is currently the chair. Mr. Calindris is the vice chair. And so what would happen is Mr. Smith would then fall to the bottom, and the next person up would be Mr. Calindris, should he choose to accept position of chair. And I'll let you guys discuss and make nominations, and I'll do a roll call vote.
Okay. Yeah, so that was the intent, Mr. Tinker, I don't know if you were still on at that point in 21 when last time we reorganized, was that we would, at the next one, kind of follow suit. So that was where this comes from. So I think you're correct. I don't think we officially adopted it as a policy, but we're using it as kind of a guide on how we're conducting ourselves.
I remember there was discussion before I left.
Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Calindris?
One, I wanted to say thank you again for allowing me this opportunity to become the chair. With my business and everything I got going on personally, I feel it would be an injustice to the committee and to the city for me to take on this such responsibility and not being able to give it all the attention and everything that it needs. I would still love to continue to be part of the commission, but just being the chair, I think I got a lot going on personally, but I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you. So usually I'm a fan of volunteering people when they're absent what their role is going to be, but I'm not sure that's appropriate for this case. So yeah, I think I'll just open to the commission at this point on what your thoughts are on how we should reorganize for this next term.
I personally like the way that you conduct the meetings and the way that you operate and the way that you handle the meetings and everything and every project that comes our way. So I would be okay with you going another year as chair.
Thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I do want to make sure that I provide opportunity for, people to rotate through. So, if there is anybody else who is interested as well, or if you guys have different thoughts, I'd like to hear them.
Be honest with you, if it isn't broke, why mess with it?
I agree.
You've done a good job in the past. I trained you well. But I like your suggestion. I would like to see you continue
Okay.
and go from there with it.
So is there a thought then to just kind of continue the same slate for the next year then?
Yes. Do we need that in the form of a motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, so moved.
And I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to maintain the current slate that we have up here now.
That's correct.
Do a roll call.
We'll need a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Cooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair Calindris,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right, and thank you, and I hope to continue to serve this commission and the community the best that I'm able. And do appreciate
you thought you were
the vote of confidence.
You thought you were gonna slide, dude. That ain't gonna happen.
I got to sit on one of the edges. All right. So we'll move along for next business, item C4, plot plan 2019-0209, conditional use permit CUP 2019-0033, and environmental ENV 2020-0011, commonly referred to as Penn Mart, located on the west side of Pennsylvania Avenue, north of I-10 and south of 6th Street.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners, Carol Kendrick, Planning Staff. Unfortunately, as we were preparing the staff report, we realized that there was some outstanding items for the project, and we are requesting that it be continued without discussion to a future date. We will re-advertise when the project's ready to be brought forward to the Planning Commission.
All right, thank you. Any questions for staff on that?
I just have a quick question. This is a project we approved back several years ago, is it not?
No, I keep getting these calls. So it is located directly south of Beyond Beaumont, which is the same type of project, gas station, convenience store, and
okay.
car wash. And so this one it backs right up to it. It's the same type of project, gas station, convenience store, and car wash. So I've been getting several calls saying, wasn't this already approved? Well, right next door it was approved.
Okay, Beyond Beaumont was the one we approved before.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so do we have a motion to continue off calendar?
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
And a vote, please?
Commissioner Cooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair Calindres,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right, item C5, consideration of a one-year extension of time for plot plan 2022-0317 and environmental ENV 2021-0015.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Tonight we have an application for an extension of time for Plot Plan 2020-0317. It was submitted to the city on January 5th, 2023. The applicant is requesting for an extension due to substantial cost increases in materials and labor. Just a background on the project, the original project proposed to construct a 16,823 square foot industrial building with 3 tenant spaces on a 1.02 acre vacant property, which is to the north of First Street between Bailey Ave and Grace Ave. And it was approved unanimously by the Planning Commission on January 11th, 2022. The Beaumont Municipal Code Section 17.02.070J indicates that a plot plan permit subject to lapse may be renewed up to 1 additional year, provided that the applicant files an application for renewal prior to the expiration date and subject to consideration for a public hearing. From a CEQA standpoint, an initial study mitigating negative declaration was prepared and adopted for Plot Plan 2020-0317. And no new information has been presented from which it may be fairly argued that the plot plan may involve a new significant environmental effect or a substantial increase in the severity of previously identified significant effects, or demonstrated that the mitigation measure previously found to be infeasible is now feasible. A public notice was placed in the press enterprise, and property owners within 300 feet were notified of this public hearing. No comments have been received to date. At this time, staff recommends that the public hearing be opened and that the Planning Commission approve a 1-year extension of time for Plot Plan 2020-0317, setting a new expiration date of January 11th, 2024. This concludes my presentation. Myself and the planning manager are happy to answer any questions that you may have. And I do believe the applicant is also available in attendance by phone tonight if you guys have any questions for the applicant as well.
Thank you. Any questions for staff?
If we approve this 1-year extension, how many more extensions are they able to get, or is this the last extension that they could get?
They just get the one, correct?
Correct.
They only get the 1-year extension.
Okay.
And you stated was financial the reason he's requesting an extension?
Yeah, increased costs and materials for labor and materials to construct the building.
Okay. No further?
Any questions for staff?
No question.
All right, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
I have no written comments. Rudy, we have the caller on the line, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you want to
We'll open the public hearing, and if the caller would like to make any comments, we're always welcoming.
Would you like me to put the caller through?
Yeah, put the caller through.
Okay, all right. Rudy, you can put them through.
So we'll open the public hearing at 6:15.
Thank you. Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go right ahead. You're on with Planning Commission.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. We're just wondering if you had anything you wanted to add to it, or if there are any questions that Commission may have had for you.
No, I basically was just being available if you had any questions regarding the extension and the request.
All right, any questions for the applicant?
I have none.
All right, well, this will be very quick for you. I wish you luck in being able to move forward with this in the next year.
Me as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll close the public hearing then at 6:16. And do we have a motion? Or any further discussion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Cooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Vice Chair Calindres,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right. Any comments from our planning manager?
Chairman, if I may, I don't
Oh.
think it was intentional, but we do have the item of approval of minutes. Did you want to go back to that item?
Oh,
It's
boy, did I
C3.
skip that one too? I did, all right. Whew. You sure you want me on here another year? So item C3 is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Since we have only 2 members here that were present,
Right, I wasn't sure if you wanted to save it for the next meeting, or I just wanted to give you the opportunity.
I'm not sure that we would have, if 2 abstain, I'm not sure we would be able to.
Right, unless the other 2 members did watch the meeting and confirmed it with the minutes, there's, ability to approve that way. But if you'd rather, then,
Let's wait on that one for the next one then.
will do.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. Our deputy city manager is currently at a conference, so I am filling in for the department comments. So first, I wanted to introduce our new staff. I know that some of you I introduced Ms. Jensen to, but since we have 2, we have 1 new member and 1 returning member, I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of background on Ms. Jensen and then introduce you to Ms. Fountain. So Katie started with us back in October of 2022 in planning. Which one? So I would have loved to done the introductions before she presented, but
I was just blown right through. I'm sorry.
yeah. So, but Katie started with the city back in 2011 as a lifeguard, where she was a lifeguard for a couple years, and then she moved on to recreation specialist, and then was a customer service coordinator for 5 years. So she has basically worked for the city since she was a teenager and has, dedicated her professional career to being a public servant. So we are very excited to have her in planning. She has a bachelor's degree in sociology and social sciences from Cal State San Bernardino. And she is a local. She grew up here. She attended Wellwood kindergarten and first grade, 3 Rings Ranch Elementary, Mountain View Middle School, and Beaumont Senior High School. She likes to cook and enjoys movies and spending time with family and friends. And we just hope that you welcome her, and she's doing a great job, and wanted to get information to you so that you can get to know her. And all 3 of us work very closely together, so if you have questions, you can always reach out to any of us, and we'll find the answers you need.
Ms. Jensen, was this your first presentation tonight?
Yes, this was my first
Well,
one.
you spoke like you have done many of these. You did a very good job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You did a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
And then we have Miss Jillian Fountain. She started with us just in December. She was previously with Lake Elsinore as a community development technician and a building technician in the city of Hemet. So she does have some municipal experience and brings a different aspect that will assist planning when she's looking at it kind of with a building mindset. She has a bachelor's degree in communications from UCSD, And then she has a certification as a permit technician from the ICC. She enjoys camping, hiking, golfing, fishing, photography, and she was recently married right before she came over to us, and she has 6 nieces and 3 dogs, and she has been a great addition to the planning staff. Like I said, I think Christina and I couldn't be happier that these young ladies are learning very quickly, and you're going to see a lot more of them.
Well, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining the city, joining our team here, and we look forward to hearing from you many times over the next 4 years.
Some other items to note, our housing element was certified by HCD in December, so that's pretty exciting news for the city. And then I kind of wanted to go through, it's been a while since we've met, and there's been quite a few city council meetings, so I just want to mention a few things of note that may be of interest to the commission. So on November 15th, we did a second reading to the zoning code update that was, it came before the Planning Commission, and that was making changes in the zoning code and the downtown code to facilitate businesses and kind of remove some obstacles for development. So that did go through. And then we also had tentative track map 32850, which I think has come through. We had a proposed modification to the conditions of approval. That went to council on November 15th as well. In December, on the 6th, we adopted the new meeting date for Planning Commission. So Planning Commission now will follow immediately after Economic Development Committee, and we think that this just kind of works well with staff, and then providing additional days for council, if they have to schedule special meetings on Tuesdays. So we appreciate you accommodating that change. Also, the Downtown Business Incentive Program was on that agenda as well. And then, as we know, there were, on the 20th of December, we had the Planning Commission appointments. So again, I want to welcome back Commissioner Tinker and welcome Commissioner Cooley. We are excited on all the projects that are coming forward this year. And then in January, we had a development agreement amendment to Meritage at Fairway Canyon. And so it was basically creating a sub-planning area in Planning Area 20 to accommodate some school interest. So that went forward, and they had a second reading last night. Also, we are starting to work on our new budget, and so I wanted to gauge interest from the commission. I know it's been a couple years since the Planning Commissioners Academy had been in operation due to COVID, and I just wanted to gauge interest to see if any commissioners would be interested in attending next year. This year's is next month, and unfortunately, we don't have enough funding in our budget, but if there's interest, I want to make sure that I can, put that in next year's budget. Okay. Yeah, it's for this year. It's scheduled from March 29th to the 31st in Garden Grove, and I think previously it was in Long Beach at the Queen Mary. I think some commissioners went. So, like I said, I'm just trying to gauge interest, so that's great to know, and that's all I have for those items. I did want to let the commission know what we have on deck. For next month, we have tentatively 2 items coming forward: a conditional use permit for alcohol sales off of 2nd Street, and then auto sales along 6th Street. So we anticipate that we'll at least have 2 items, and Ms. Fountain will be presenting one of those items. And then just coming down the road, we have the Beaumont Point specific plan and all their associated projects. The draft EIR was out on the street for public review, and the comment period ends today. So once they start working through some other issues, we anticipate that that'll be coming back in the spring or summer. And then we have Potrero Logistics. They're working out one outstanding item. So that is a 600,000 square foot industrial building off 4th and Potrero. And then we have some other things that are going to be coming forward probably in spring or summer is we have Xenia Apartments, which is approximately 195 apartment unit project off of 8th and Xenia. And then the former Dowling Ranch, which is now called Orchard Logistics. We're looking at their environmental document going out for public review shortly and then coming forward to Planning Commission probably in the summer.
We have a busy spring and summer.
Yeah. That concludes my comments.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. Well, with that, we will go ahead and adjourn tonight at 6:25. Thank you, everybody.